Is it? It
Meeting
says
is being
this
live
meeting's.
streamed.
It says. Does that mean it's live? Is that how you know?
It says it's live already? It must
It says
be.
it's being live streamed. Wait, so if
So,
This
I
meeting is
Yes.
being live streamed.
I gotta
We
make
did this
sure.
earlier and this came up and she didn't believe me that it was up there. So
We're definitely live.
sweet.
Hey.
So we got people.
Congratulations. We have achieved
it says
live.
you're live. It says you're live right now. So
We're absolutely live. So while people have a chance to jump in, since we just went live, we can just talk about Supernova. Because
Yeah.
sure.
congratulations, you were added to Supernova to play Sunday, very last minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
It's exciting.
Rewarding for sure.
You've been wanting
Austin,
this for a long time, I'm sure.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Austin. How many years have you been submitting this band for Supernova?
Since 2018, 2019.
So
Really?
there
It was
you go.
it was 1 year after Backyard Superheroes played it. I started submitting for Supernova.
Wow.
I think it was yeah, something like that.
You have all
So-
been to Supernova before? I know Austin has.
I have not.
Neither have I.
My
And-
answer was always, "I'll go when we're playing."
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And
It's,
although
it's kind of hard to get all three of us in one spot because we're all working a lot. And like me being the ska kid of the band, going to Supernova at least once was definitely on my bucket list. But like even in recent years, it's become harder to go to stuff just to have fun if we're not playing it because all the time we spend on the road now, that is like stuff we have to save up for to make sure that we can actually do it instead of like go to do the thing to have fun.
Yeah,
makes
there's,
sense.
There's limited times that we can I think we're relatively lucky. Like we still do a fair bit of touring and can be relatively flexible, but it's always like, all right, well, we're actually going away next weekend and like, oh, we're doing a thing. Oh, I can't go to that, you know.
And
Mhm.
also for every festival, especially if it's even remotely ska oriented that we would want to go to just to see a show, it's like, well, what if we played it? It could be played.
It could
Yeah.
be beyond that.
It's weird. Honestly, the number it's refreshing the few times when I'm at a show or we're at a show and we're not on the bill and we don't have to think about what time we get up there and moving our stuff and like blah blah blah. We can actually just be in the audience.
Nice. I'm sure. And-
Austin, oh, go ahead.
So you guys were telling us before we went live that unfortunately you will not be there all weekend.
I will not be there.
Yeah,
all
so
week.
what
The other
is,
two will be
Yeah.
there.
Well,
The other-
not exactly. Not exactly. We are playing Starland Ballroom, which is our de facto
yeah.
home base on Friday with Save Ferris, Mest, and title holder. So we were signed on for that well before we knew about Supernova. Contracts were signed, tickets are sold. We have to do that show. Pat and I will be driving down sometime on Saturday, and then Billy, who outside of doing ska is in a wedding band, is driving in from Long Island Saturday night to play
Yes.
Sunday morning. So
And so don't be upset if you don't see me on Sunday. I'm probably gonna go back and sleep.
He's going to be sleeping before the show, maybe, and definitely after the show.
Yeah, it's like it depending on the what time I get in. I'll be like, I'll get a couple
if
hours.
you get there early enough to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, like oh boy.
And
Yeah.
we looked at flights. It wasn't happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was just
We
like
did not have the time.
yeah, and like there's the earliest flight gets me in at like 10 a.m. and like into like an hour away, and I was like,
We're on
if
at
one
12.
single yeah, I was like, if one single thing goes wrong, it's just not happening.
It's way too tight for a bus schedule or anything like that either.
Yep.
So like there's no way.
Yeah,
Very small
it's-
margin of error.
Yeah,
Oh, I
exactly.
just noticed the bearded dragon on your chair.
Yeah, I've been at work a lot lately, so I wanted to come.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
That's awesome.
Aw, I used to
Yeah.
have one.
We've got some wings for the leash that my daughter wants to start walking around once it's warm out. So
Oh, that's cute. They make
That's
such good
great.
pets.
All right, so we got
20 years. Hopefully, she'll take her to college because I really don't want to have to babysit her afterwards.
a couple people popping in. I just want to remind everyone you're watching Ska Talk with Skagazine. We are not only on YouTube but on Spotify as well. We have a whole catalog of episodes, and this one will be recorded and put up as well. And maybe I should hit record now.
There we go.
I'm so glad I said that.
Well, good. Now you know.
You haven't been recording?
No, I
Guys, can we
haven't
start
been.
over?
Holy shit.
No,
It's
it was
okay because this is staying on YouTube. So
it was
anybody
being
who
broadcast, but it wasn't being recorded.
Interesting.
Well, then everything before this was exclusive content. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
well,
Talking
the
about
But
live will
members
stay
only
up.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll stay up for replay. So the people who listen on YouTube will catch that.
Sure.
I noticed that when we do lives on YouTube, that's primarily where the people listen, even after the replay. So we'll see
That's awesome.
how that goes. Yeah, we have Joker's Republic here with us tonight. Austin,
Hello.
Billy, and Pat.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this the smallest ska band in existence? 3
They don't.
members?
They really can't make them smaller than this.
Chris
Not a-
Murray. Chris Murray.
Oh, right.
Okay, but that's a
Oh.
guy. That's not.
That's
is
not
it?
a band.
Is it still? Is okay? No shots to Chris Murray, but is it? Does it still count as a band if it's just a guy?
Does he have
got
like
a
a backing
point.
band when he plays?
There is the Chris Murray combo, which is a backing band.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is, does Chris Murray record all the parts in the studio by himself?
Yeah, there's. I think you get into gray areas. But I would say, but to me, if it's one person, I'm always thinking I would always call that a solo act. Are there any? This does beg the question: are there any duo ska bands?
I'm sure it's doable because, as we've said
Doable.
several times, doable.
Duo.
As we
We've
said,
done it.
Yeah, we've done it, but it's really the only thing you need to be in a ska band, and this is the point of sticking for me, is the guitar. That's all it is. It's that is where the word ska comes from, is that ska, ska, ska upbeat on the guitar. The only person from Jamaica who disagreed with that was Derek Morgan, who included keys. But like, that is what makes ska ska. So as long as you have some kind of instrument that's playing that rhythm, you could put pretty much whatever else you want behind it. You could have like a Royal Blood ska band, and as long as you have that ska ska rhythm to it, it would work.
I could play that rhythm.
Yeah.
So we're saying you could be a one-man ska band? Is what we're saying?
Well, but I
Yeah,
think but then it's just a one-man ska act. I think it becomes a band when you also have another guy. Like then because then
You
it's
need
the
at
operative
least two
word is
people.
band. I think 2 people is a band, right? Ska you can absolutely do with one person.
One person's
right?
an artist.
One person can be ska,
Mm-hmm.
but
or
I
a
think 2
performer.
people need to be a ska band. I think you know what I mean?
Hold on,
Well,
let
would
me
you
grab
call
a-
that a double act though,
let me grab a
or would you
match.
call that a duo?
Or I guess you could call it a duo, but a duo is a band.
Yeah, I guess you could call that a band.
Like I don't know, like fucking Black Keys, they're a band technically.
Yeah, no, technically, yeah, I suppose that would be a band.
Not a lot better.
White Stripes.
Yeah, like I said, Royal Blood. I guess those are bands.
Those are all bands, as far as I know what bands are.
Yeah, I
jury's
suppose you could very easily have a ska band with at least 2 members.
Yes.
What I'd love to see is like the kit on the back and like the tambourine on the foot and just like a full one-man band act doing
That's
ska.
great. Then
That
I
would be
will
awesome.
give
You
you.
just want
I
the
will.
boonsh, boonsh, boonsh.
It really is Vic from the Slackers, though. So I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen him do that. So he's technically could be a one-man band. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
we
him
were-
do it one time when he played with OAR and Dispatch. He had harmonica, tambourine, guitar, and I want to say another drum that he was playing off of something else.
That's crazy.
With Dispatch, you say?
Well, we were talking about Supernova and the fact that Joker's Republic has never played, but Austin may have done a one-man ska thing there once, huh?
I was not
Sure
first.
did.
I was not the first one to do it. So 2021 was the first Supernova I ever attended.
Mhm.
I was told that there was a rainstorm every year, and I don't remember who was first to do it, but before me, it was Chris Murray, who took out an acoustic guitar under the tent and started playing for everybody while the rain was going. And Half Task 2 had just played. I think it was their first Supernova 2. First time I ever saw them. And immediately after they played a song called Shine, ironically, heaviest rainstorm. Like, started making mud puddles in the pit. And it was at the old, it was at Oozlefinch too. So it wasn't the big, like, it was like down a quarter mile, I think, from where the festival grounds are now. It's that brewery. So it was kind of messy and kind of bad over there. And I'm standing near Monkey's merch table next to Junior Ska Boss and our tour manager, who looks at me and goes, you brought your guitar, right? And I was like, yeah, I did. Are we sure? And he looks at me,
Are we gonna be that guy?
he goes, yeah, do it. Like, it's now or never. So I ran to the parking lot through the rain, got up on a plastic folding chair, barely holding my weight, and it was my turn, I guess. I decided to play a bunch of covers and keep everybody entertained. And then I broke a string right before they asked me to play a Joker's Republic song. So
Of course.
In a true Austin fashion.
yeah, it was perfectly appropriate. But yeah, no, that was technically, I guess I have played Supernova question mark, but I wouldn't count that.
We have a fact checker in the chat. Gimpleg is here to tell us that Bob Villain is a 2-person band.
There you go.
There you go.
Another 2-person
Thought I'd
band.
share that.
Shout out to
Totally.
Gimpleg.
All right, so Eric, I think you're up.
Am I?
Yeah.
I think we've gone all over this outline.
No, we haven't, and we're live. Do you want me to go?
Do you want me to ask some? Do you want me to ask how many people have played past Supernova?
No, maybe just the second part of the question.
That's what I'm saying. I thought we already covered that. So if anybody has, and maybe Austin just told us his, but what is
Maybe not.
everybody's favorite Supernova memories?
I've never been.
Yeah,
So
Neither,
Yeah.
only.
that's why
Austin's the only
And that
one
was
that's
awesome,
I got called out.
Austin's the only one that's been.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite memory either. I think my favorite memory was that night. I think we were all hanging out at the dive bar, which was at the time the unofficial after party spot because there weren't like after parties. Nobody had thought to like book shows in the area after Supernova. We were all hanging out at the dive bar, and we went specifically to go hang out with Hub City Stompers, and I wound up going shot for shot with Peb from fucking 9, talking about how much I loved the band. It was really cool to see them because they never leave the West Coast, really. And
Austin, infamous drinker.
yeah, no, I'm not really that much of a drinker either. So, definitely some liquid courage going on at that moment. But I was talking about the song 19 and how it kind of meant a lot to me. And they threw it into the set their next when they played, which meant a lot to me. I felt very seen.
No, that's pretty awesome. We got to interview those guys at This Is Not Groin Fest this year, and some truly awesome guys with some stories to tell for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
For a while. But I'm kind of curious with all these lineup changes, and who are you guys looking forward to seeing or playing with most?
Let me see. Who's even honestly, there are so many people who I know who are playing in multiple bands that I'm mostly just excited to see my friends. Like there's a bunch of folks from the West Coast who are coming out, so like it'll be cool to see them just to like hang out and get a beer afterwards is my honest answer.
Yeah, I mean, Supernova's always been like the ska family homecoming. It doesn't really matter how big or small the lineup is. Everyone shows up, and it's really more or less for the hangouts and for the family. So it's kind of hard to pick a band that I'm less than Jake excited to see the most.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I also have not seen Less Than Jake, and I still won't because they're playing on the Saturday. So
Yeah,
we'll see them.
You guys
Yeah,
will see them for like the 4th time.
It's kind of a cop-out answer, but genuinely, I've never seen them put on a bad show. But in terms of bands that are not Less Than Jake, I would say I'm stoked to see the Doom Stompers again.
Yeah, they're great.
I really am stoked to see Buster Plug again. We haven't seen them in years. I think the last time was when Billy and I opened for them in Asbury Park.
Was that you and I? No,
yeah,
holy
play
shit,
it.
yeah. Oh
Pat
yeah,
didn't
that
play
was
that
like
one, yeah.
20. Yeah, Pat had moved.
I wasn't in there.
No
And
kidding.
Pie Tasters are always such a fun time too.
Yeah.
It's hard because like we're going down the list and we're seeing all of our friends playing, and it's like we want to give shout outs to everybody, but in reality, it's just everybody. Because there's also people there who aren't playing, who I'm stoked to see, who I haven't seen in a couple years
Yeah,
too.
we're just
Like,
coming to
I
hang.
mean, Skag is there. Catch 22 is there. Stop the Presses is going to be there.
Any of your friends that are not playing that you might be hoping brings an instrument with them.
Don't do that.
Live right now. This is kind of like a nudge.
Don't do that.
Who do we
Don't do
hope
that.
shows up?
If you were thinking about doing that, this is my hot take. If you're thinking about doing that, leave it in your car unless there's a rainstorm. Unless, because if you come up to me and you say, "Hey Billy, can I play with your band?" and I'm about to go on, I'm going to tell you to fuck off.
Did you guys hear about Dan from Bunko 9 when he went up with the what nows at the This Is Not Croydon Fest after party?
No, what
No.
happened?
No.
Oh, it was hilarious. He was wasted. He walked up with his horn, and I'm like, I don't know why he's bringing that in, but whatever. And then they were like, Dan wants to introduce the band, and we're like, okay. We thought he was
Sure.
going to go up and just play like this little thing.
Yeah.
And Dan, if you're listening, and it was fucking hilarious. He runs through the crowd, stumbles over the monitors, lands on the floor, of course, because he's so drunk.
Oh
And
no.
Good.
then he gets up and he plays with the What Nows for a whole song. And when
No
that song's
kidding.
over, he didn't leave.
Oh.
He stayed for the second song.
Interesting.
And the look on Burke's face was priceless. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna get out of here or what. But he left
Yeah.
after the second song. It was funny.
We get that a lot because we're a three-piece and every horn player wants to play Streetlight with us, and we're flattered and we're honored, and for literally any other song we're cool with it for the most part. But like, we do kind of feel like we as a smaller band have something to prove, that we can hang with just three people. That's kind of the whole point. So for the most part, we try to keep to ourselves, even when it's like, if it's a tour and it's a bunch of our friends and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we've all agreed on one song and this is just going to be our together song, then that's cool. Or if it's like Bex from Joystick and Power Up plays with us a lot because we've known Bex for years. That's like, anytime we do Necessary Evil and they are present, we'll offer for them specifically.
Yes,
Or
it's
somebody like Andy from Joystick, like
it's we will come to you if we want.
If we want the
Yeah.
horns, we will find the horns.
But also specifically for the Streetlight song, there's so many moving parts, and most people don't know every single intricacy. And also, Austin and I trade off so many of the leads. It like our parts are an amalgam of all the melodies. So whatever you're playing is at least going to be 50% wrong because we're trading parts so often. And
Yeah.
then also we've had like clusterfucks during all the solos because people will be like, "Are you doing it? Am I doing it?" I'm like, "Well, it's half over now and nobody did it." So
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we've
so, like,
realized
just for, like-
we've realized that a lot of people are very enthusiastic to jump up and join us for Streetlight, and then they realize that they don't know the whole song.
Yeah, and we're pretty good with crowd interaction too. I would say like one of our strong suits, besides the fact that we're very vocally intensive and that it's only three of us, we're very good live show in getting the crowd involved and making sure everybody feels like they're a part of it. So like for the most part, like people grabbing my mic and like singing parts or like
yeah, that's actually great.
we love that.
I'm
but,
way more into that actually.
but adding instruments and stuff like that, because of the way we have to work stuff out to do it as a three-piece, gets really tricky really fast.
Yeah.
The orchestration has to be really specific because of how few instruments we're working with.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, if
just
somebody got up on stage and said like, "Hey, for some reason, like, get off the drums. I'm gonna play the drum part." I'd be like, "You know
No.
what? Go for it." You know what? If you if
That's-
you want to do that, you can go for it. I'm gonna go over there now. But
yeah. Yeah, but it's in general we don't we don't allow visitors, or not don't allow, we discourage visitors unless explicitly asked, just because it can change a bunch of things about our show.
Makes sense.
Fair respect.
Which feels not so nice to say, but we've gotten there through years of absolutely boo-booing stuff all the
yeah,
time.
in
Like,
theory, I want to say yes. Everybody get on stage. Do whatever
everybody
you
do
want.
it all the time.
And it
totally.
turns out it doesn't work that well.
Again,
And
it's because of the precariousness of being a three-piece band, the way that we do it. Because like there are three-piece bands that can do, for lack of a better word, modularity, where they can add and subtract people and it works. But like the way that we write our songs and the way that we perform our covers is done so specifically that we drill it till it's like second nature in our brains. And if we have to change like For example, I'm playing the guitar part in Streetlight for like 40% of the song. Like the only time I'm playing the actual guitar part in the song is during the verse. Everything else is modified to incorporate some of the horn parts. Billy's taking up horn parts in the bass. Like for us to modify that on the fly and not have practiced it, it gets really messy really fast. And again, I'm a punk rocker through and through. I like when people are dancing and going crazy to sing along, but like for the music part of it, it's really tricky to just kind of work that
Yeah.
out on the
I'm
fly.
yeah, I'm more inclined to play like a messy song because I slipped and in the crowd and couldn't get back on stage in time. Like that happens all the time, but that's my fault, you know.
What
So
was the
your
question
concern
again?
is ultimately if somebody comes on stage and tries to play with you guys, they're gonna fuck up your music. That's
It's
what.
not that they're going to play the song correctly, and then we're going to have to fix what we're doing to match to them. It's not even that somebody's going to
Yeah,
play
it's yeah,
badly. It's that we've rewritten the parts so that the correct part doesn't work anymore.
yeah, it's be the just the nature of arranging for three people changes things. So whenever we have other players, sometimes we've had guitar players guest in or keyboard players or horn players, sometimes an extra singer. Like we always try to at least talk to them first just to say like, "Hey, what key do you want to do this in? Do you need this? Is this good for you? Have you listened to our version of this cover? It's not the same as the original. Is that cool with you?" Just like, and sometimes it's as simple as that. It does, we don't have to, practice, but it's just sort of like a little bit of premeditation goes a really long way.
Yeah, like, hey, there's an acapella drop in the Offspring cover that's not in the original.
Yeah, like just be ready for that. Like, maybe like take 5 minutes in the bathroom and just like listen through it once so you're not like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So we got really lucky when you played with the boy detective, huh?
Yeah, that's a case in point. Benny was asking ahead of time to do I think Benny actually wanted to do Necessary Evil, which Billy was not playing that show because wedding band. So we couldn't do Necessary Evil because we need that extra vocal part. So we wanted to acknowledge that we knew the boy detective for years. We wanted to do something with them, even if it wasn't a full song. And normally when we play with Wyatt, who was the bass player for that show, we will do Keysby Nights with Pat doing electric kazoo on the drums in the background,
Yeah.
going. So the horn parts are there. It just made sense. And it's not a super crazy hard song. Boy Detective actually pulled that together in the van on the way down.
Nice.
Which is very impressive.
Yeah. So case in point, like that one is arranged in a way that we can add parts to it because we're basically just doing the song straight. And it's pretty easy to make that happen.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
no. We love those guys.
Yeah, and anybody I've talked to that Benny's jumped on stage was said kind of the same thing, that he got in touch with them weeks and weeks in advance and made sure that everybody was on page and coordinated when and how, and it's kind of because it is a performance. You're there to entertain people, to make sure they come back, that they buy a T-shirt, or a record.
Exactly.
And, if you're putting on a good show, they're going to be more apt to do that. So.
Yeah, and like we love spontaneity. Like, don't mistake that. We love the idea of, oh, this particular crowd wants us to play My Own Worst Enemy. They're calling for it. Okay, it's not in the set, but we'll do it. Like,
Yeah, we change things.
we love spontaneous stuff that just kind of happens, like row pits. When you ever see that when they sit down and they start just going row.
That's new.
Like,
That's a Gen Z thing.
No, I don't know about that, but yeah, we love spontaneous moments like that. But when it comes to what has to happen to make the spontaneous moments work, it's months and months and months of work to make sure that it happens correctly.
All right. Well, you brought up your Friday show with Save Ferris earlier, and I wanted to talk about this because of where it is and what the venue is for you guys. So you're playing at Starland Ballroom.
Just gonna get this out real quick.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
So you call this your home base, correct? Because it's like, is it close to you, or is it just somewhere you've played the most? What does the venue mean to you?
Streetlight's home base, and New Jersey kind of sucks right now. and we have played Starlight Ballroom more than anywhere else in the past year in New Jersey, which for a band of our size should not be the case, but it
No,
is.
we've played Starland Ballroom more than any single venue in New Jersey in the last 5 years.
So yeah, like it's a,
If that gives you any,
and that shouldn't be like we don't have a spot like Box in Philly where we can bring a touring band through. I'm not
Yeah.
going to ask them to sell 100 tickets to open for Bowling for Soup. Like this is not going to happen.
Right.
So if you got one, please, if you're listening, if you have like a 50 to 200 cap room, I'll take any. I'm not like, give me a good basement to a medium sized venue that isn't gonna kill people on overhead fees. Please, anywhere in New Jersey.
But until then, Starland is just we've played there more than anywhere else, and I am ecstatic about that as a massive Streetlight fan. But like, it's just they are so cool to artists there in terms of
Yeah.
like major venues. It's the only place we're willing to take on a ticket minimum for because they are just behind the scenes. They're so friendly. They make stuff happen. They're communicative. They're genuinely one of the best places to play in New Jersey, aside from the fact that it's a big room.
Yeah, the staff treats you really well. You know, they always like make the small bands feel the hospitality as well, and the sound is very good, and they're very communicative with us. So it's a great place to play, and we're honored to be at least in some capacity in their rotation. Like that's very cool that like they think of us for things, and when there are shows that we're excited about, we can reach out to them. And even if the answer is no, we can't put you guys on, they'll almost always respond and say like, no, but like, don't worry, we'll talk to you guys about the next one or something. So like all that is like, that is well noticed and, you know, much appreciated.
Yeah, it's also too like that is my home venue in terms of like when a band is coming through, that's the first place I look to see if they're playing. And like I can't walk in there without at least two of the staff and a bunch of people in the crowd being like, "Is that the dude from Joker's Republic?" Or more accurately, "Is that the dude with the Denny's shirt?"
That was my next question. Explain the "fuck you, Denny's" thing.
Okay.
Why do you all chant this?
So okay, Starlight Ballroom is sponsored by IHOP. A very
Oh.
specific IHOP on Route 17. It used to be, to my understanding of the story, and I could be wrong about this. Someone in the comments can fact check me who's from New Jersey. There's a Denny's literally like within like walking distance of that IHOP that where a bunch of like the Skells and Mallrats used to hang out. And something happened where I think Denny's used to sponsor and then they dropped it and then IHOP picked it up. So the Streetlight fans started chanting, "Fuck you, Denny's! Fuck you, Denny's!" at shows, and it's just a thing now.
Okay. I mean, I've been there, I've heard it, I've done it with you, but I never knew why.
It's my favorite thing. It's just so, it's one of those things that's so quirky and so weird, and I love it so dearly. And I kind of get upset when I go to non-ska shows and nobody gets it. And there's just like one person at one point walked up to, I think it was my girlfriend, and went, "Why are we fucking Denny's?"
Don't ask. Just keep clapping.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't ask.
We'll explain it to you later.
So this only happens at the ska shows.
Yeah.
It's the ska shows and the auxiliary. So like you could hear it at pop punk shows. You could hear it at a punk show. At a country show, probably not.
I think I've only been to 2 shows there that were not ska, and I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Gotta be
No,
Starlight.
it's the Streetlight ones are the worst because like they'll actually add in extra slides. So they have the projector that shows like coming up, right? They'll add in extra IHOP slides for the Streetlight fans, and they'll have like one that just goes "wait for it," and everyone goes, "Oh yeah!"
That's great.
Oh, I thought there were going to be more lyrics.
Yeah.
No, it's just there's more opportunities. Like remember the first time,
"Fuck you, Denny's." Yeah.
The first time I went in there,
Joe was going to be writing verses for the "Fuck You, Denny's" song. He'll spend 5 years doing it.
No, that would mean he would have to claim ska. That's
yeah. The first time I went in
he would
there,
be rewriting the lyrics all the time too. It would never come out.
the first time I went in there, they had the Will Ferrell meme with him going like this that just said "Mava pancakes," and everyone just started going nuts for it.
That's great.
I want a cool venue like that by my house. Jeez.
Yeah. No, we're lucky.
Well,
Genuinely,
It's
As
about
this-
an hour. It's about an hour away in like kind of the middle of nowhere, but
Definitely the
everybody
middle
knows.
of nowhere.
But everybody like it's down like country road past like a bunch of like warehouses and stuff. Like there's not like a there's not necessarily a good or bad place to put a venue, but I find that a lot of the best ones for some reason middle of nowhere, like industrial park. But everybody knows the venue and everybody knows how to get there.
Everybody like knows the place to
Otherwise,
be.
you would have no reason to be anywhere near this place.
Yes.
Yeah. And like we're glazing it a lot, but realistically, as a ska band, that is the best venue we could hope to play. Like that is for me, if we were ever headlining that room, I would say we've made it. Cause like that's just where everybody in New Jersey goes. It's there, it's the Stone Pony Summer Stage, and it's maybe Atlantic City if you have a residency at a casino. But realistically, it's Starland or it's the Stone Pony, and Starland's all year round.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So back before you guys were a band, what got you into music? Was there like we tell the stories of like that first album that we got that like we went from being a passive listener to music to really loving music. Do you have an album that you really loved, or was it you picked up an instrument? What was your gateway into what you do today with music?
Pat, do you want to start? I don't actually know this answer for you. I know Austin, I know your answer and you know mine.
I
We'll
I
go.
don't think I had like one clear defining moment, but I can think of a couple things that sort of added up. And obviously the first of which is that my father is a guitar player, so I grew up around music. My brother was a in high school he was an alto sax player, and then turned to drums, which is why I had a drum kit in the house in the first place. Um, I think the first thing that like really got me into the first thing that really got me into music, and specifically like punk and pop punk, which is still sort of where I reside, is, and this is a crazy pull, was a music video for the song "Carpal Tunnel of Love" by Fall Out Boy.
It's the Happy
Whoa.
Tree Friends video.
But it was the Happy Tree Friends
The
music
Happy
video.
Tree Friends video. Yeah, I saw
Holy
this.
shit. This is
Yeah.
some early internet shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. Whatever's happening right now with this music, I like this. I have to find more of this. Because
Right.
I
That
didn't know this
video was
existed.
brutal too. Like
Yeah,
that was
it
so.
It was just like standard Happy Tree Friends clips. For those of you that aren't familiar, don't familiarize yourselves. It's okay. But that's kind of where that like pop punk era started for me. I was also big into video games, so Rock Band, a lot of Rock Band, and I got so good at Rock Band that my dad was like, "We have a literal drum set in the basement. Why don't you play the actual drums?" And I said, "That's dumb. I want to keep doing this." and so I continued to just play fake drums until for a while. Like I went downstairs and I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll sit behind the kit. I'll hit the real drums." And then I realized, oh my god, this translates. I think I taught myself how to play an instrument by accident.
Hmm.
And then from there, it was just like a bunch of like crappy little rock bands in high school, most of which Billy was also a part of.
Also true. My abridged version is my dad also plays guitar. My mom sings. She's like a semi-pro, like she sings in church and does like theater and stuff. So there's always music in the house. I always loved music. The first like punk album, I guess pop punk really, that ever like changed my brain is I was 6 years old and I heard Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless in my friend's dad's truck. And I was like, this is so cool. I love this.
What a good
And
album
then
it is.
I love that record. And then American Idiot came out when I was 9, so like, that poisoned my blood forever. And then I picked up the bass at 14 to start a punk band with Pat, and then I ended up loving it so much I went to music school, and now I do it for a living.
Nice.
For many years when I was much, much younger, I grew up on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And for a long time, I wanted to be a professional skater. That was my first like career aptitude as a child. So obviously I was around ska and punk. My dad's a punk rocker, my mom's a metalhead, so I grew up with this kind of music. But for me to transition to music, I was in the back of my friend's car in second grade. I think I was 6, maybe 7, and I heard "Wake Me Up When September Ends" for the first time. And I knew I liked the music, but I Green Day, who's that? Like this is all new to me. The next day, I heard American Idiot on the radio, and I remember just sitting in the car and going, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like this right here. I just want to be a punk rock musician, and I want to slam power chords and sing songs that like move people and leave some kind of impact on their lives." I knew in that moment. The transition to ska happened because obviously I grew up on it, but when I was like 15 or 16, I refound it because when you're trying to get good at an instrument, especially guitar, it's like you really don't have a lot of options in terms of which direction to go in. So I was learning metal and I was learning like shreddier stuff. And then Real Big Fish just came up on a playlist and I was like, yeah, I like ska. Let me try this. And I learned pretty much their entire discography. And I found Streetlight when I turned 16. And I was like, these guys are from New Jersey, like an hour south of me. And this is what they're doing right now. Cool. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
So who found who as far as forming the band? Pat and Billy, you guys said that you guys were playing music together for years and years. Who approached
Yeah.
who to form Joker's Republic?
This is Austin's brainchild is the answer. Pat and I are not in this band unless Austin has the idea
Yeah, I mean
and the passion and the
we can tell our own perspectives, but if you want it from day one, you got to ask Austin.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
we've also told this story, I want to say, in every single interview we've ever
Yeah,
done.
the
So
short
we'll
answer
we
is
can we'll go quick.
yeah. I was a student at a School of Rock branch that Billy started teaching at. I was an intern for his first performance program. That's the thing where you teach the kids how to actually play a show on stage. So I was kind of like basically a teacher's assistant for that.
Yeah, you were like 18 and I was 20, I think.
Was that
So,
Paramore
I was
Fall Out Boy?
17.
yes,
Yeah,
it was 17. There you go.
I
So
was 17. Yeah. I had been working on the first Joker's EP entirely independently, approached Billy about playing in the band, who said yes. But we used a different drummer who was a friend of Billy's, which wasn't going to be a permanent situation. And we knew that.
yeah.
And then Pat, who was at college, I think at the time, right? You were in
Yeah,
Boston?
because I was a junior and like that was my college job. Like that was and so we were juniors in college.
Yeah, I had just graduated.
Pat just graduated, moved back to New Jersey. Billy's like, "Hey, you want to be in a ska band?" And Pat's like, "Yeah, I kind of know what that is."
Yeah, I was like, I love playing music. I know that I like playing music with Billy specifically. I don't know who Austin is, and I don't really know how to play ska, but I know punk is like adjacent, and so I'll figure it out.
And we did that for a year. Sorry, I heard.
There's some ska songs on Rock Band, isn't there?
Yeah, Boss Tones are in Rock Band.
There you go.
Yeah, impression that I get is on there.
No. It's Where Did You Go?
Oh, where'd you go?
Yeah, it is. Where did you go? It is. I remember this. Yes.
Yeah.
So is there ever a fourth Joker's Republic, or is it always just been a three-piece?
It's
Actually,
always been a three-piece. I considered, because the name is half Batman reference, I considered adding what I called the Harlequin horn section for a while, but then I realized I didn't want horns.
We
I thought,
yeah. Was there ever an iteration because
no.
Really, was it always
There was an
sort of conceived as,
iteration with the School of Rock kids before you guys joined the band. There was an iteration with a keyboard player, but that lasted maybe 3 shows before it became a three-piece. I realized very quickly that the thing that made the music accessible is that it sounded like Green Day, Blink-182. So people who aren't super into ska can look at us and go, I can wrap my head around this. There's only 3 of them. There's not a wall of horns or like a ridiculous amount of things and moving parts going on. It's very accessible. And that to me spoke volumes in a way that a lot of other ska punk wouldn't to somebody who doesn't really like ska that much.
No, that makes perfect sense. I like that. I love the sound. I mean, you guys pack a lot with three instruments going.
That's
Thank you.
thank you.
you.
That's
Yeah.
that is I think that's part of why I like the three piece so much, because it's sort of like how much noise can three people make at one time? Like it gives me a lot of space to play a lot of bass lines, like and like really sort of like use the range of the instrument. Like we're always sort of thinking like how much can we be singing? Who's taking the melody? Who's doing a solo? Who's playing rhythm? How is this song still going to sound like ska, and how do we make it all not sound empty? And like that's
How
a
many
fun
vocal
part of
harmonies can we fit?
yes,
And
and
then
that's a
now,
yes,
more
and that's
recently, is how do we make it sound different than stuff we've done before? The bigger challenge
yes.
now, at least for me, trying to write new stuff is, well, this sounds like X song from Falling Behind, or I use this progression on Necessary Evil. So like the challenge now is how do we make it feel unique while also still sounding like us?
Yeah.
So Austin, you wrote most of the EP on your own, you said, or all of it, right?
Yes, I played bass on 6 of the 8 songs. I played guitar and sang harmonies on all of them. We used session drummers for it. But that is mostly me. Billy and Pat's first recorded work would have been Falling Behind.
Yeah, so on Falling Behind, what was the collaboration like on that? Did you have
was-
some of that written already, or
it was
this all?
still it was mostly written, and the band dynamic was it was still at the time I think very much Austin's project. So Pat and I felt like most of our job was like render the songs as best we could according to that vision, and like add in parts and stuff where we thought it was appropriate, but like uh a lot of that I think was because you also came in with really strong concepts. Like you knew like most of that stuff was
Yeah.
like written. It wasn't like, as the band like has grown more and more creative and collaborative between the three of us, we've sort of become okay with a lot more like, well, let's just go in with a loose idea and try something. But like that record was like, I think pretty much done by the time you started bringing it to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the dynamic was very different
So
then because I
exactly.
think, and I don't know if I've ever said this on an interview before, but I think you were still a hired gun during
Yeah,
Falling Behind.
I think I was absolutely getting paid
Yeah, just
at that point.
for context, in case I haven't talked about this on an interview,
I think we
Joker's
have.
Republic started as hired guns, so every show that I played out the gate had to be worth a certain amount of money out of my pocket just to be viable, which is why we never really did DIY or house shows. We really only did clubs and stuff like that because that's what made sense. So during Falling Behind, I think you were still a hired gun and Pat was kind of along for the ride, but like it wasn't a band until we
Yeah.
started working on Necessary Evil after that first West Coast tour.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You don't
I-
hear that very often in bands in the interview.
Sorry,
Not
one more
at all.
time.
Well, sorry, we didn't hear you. One more time, Ryan.
We've definitely never heard that in any of the bands that we've interviewed, as far as starting off that way, as far as hiring the pieces that you need to fill the sound for what you want to create. That's what's really cool.
Well, look, the reality of the situation is Billy is the best goddamn bass player I have ever seen. I would put him up
That's
against
fair.
Pete McCullough. I would put him up against Matt Freeman. I'd put him up against Roger Lima, and I think he would win all day.
That's crazy.
It was,
I did
don't
not
feel,
say that, but
do not
that's
feel
great.
sorry for me. It was well worth the money spent.
Yeah, it also wasn't extortion. It was like if it was we very
Yeah.
explicitly talked about it.
No, it was agreed upon. It was well known. And that's actually why from 2019 to the beginning of 2020, things just weren't sustainable for a while. And I did try to keep the band going with a different lineup. And they were great players, but like it just wasn't working the same way. Like we really kind of realized the chemistry on that first tour with the Groovers and Holophonics and Monkey, like, and Los Kung Fu Monkeys. Like the big thing we realized in the response of everybody who had never met us, never seen us before, and people thought we were headlining some of those shows, even though we were the opener. And I think we really kind of had that reconciliation on that tour where it's like, all right, this is the thing now. When we get back to New Jersey, we're going to talk this out. No more hired guns, no more bullshit. Like, this is the band, this is the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah,
And the big thing I would say is that the experiment worked. Like, the whole time, even though we were on a not transactional basis, but like it was that,
yeah.
I was trying to angle it so that at least in some way you felt like you were a collaborator, and like
Totally, yeah.
ultimately it was going to be, the question was, are you in or are you out?
Right.
Like,
It was
do
sort
you want
of
to keep doing this? Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, because like, at the time it was sort of like, like, and this is what I do for a living. So like I do, I play music for people for money. That's how it works. It was like, I will pay you money to play music. I like the music. This is great. And like the more that I did it and, the closer Austin and I got and the more fun it was to work with our old drummer, Nick, and then bringing in Patrick, like the more I realized it was sort of like, it was scratching a different itch than necessarily the like, just base satisfaction of like getting paid to do something you love. And so like, that really did evolve over time. And that West Coast tour was really the thing, which was, that was January 2020. So like really
Yeah.
yeah, really just like a month or two before everything shut down for COVID. That was really like a really formative and special experience because the three of us were like, oh, there's like this is a cool thing. And it was also, I think, all three of us's first like real big kid tour with no one else helping out. Like we had gone on the road before, but it was like we'd done the East Coast. We had a ton of fun, but it was like it was smaller. We only did like 5 or 6 shows. We stayed with family, we stayed with friends. But like this was like we are on the other side of the country with 20 strangers we don't know, and the only people we could rely on were each other and our tour manager Derek, and like that experience was just so like life affirming, and was the adventure was so fun and so exciting. I was like, okay, well, this is going to be some part of my life in some capacity if I can help it.
Yeah. And I definitely think having Pat as part of the fold too was a big thing. Like,
Oh, totally.
because Pat, like I said before, was kind of along the ride from the beginning. He was just kind of doing it to play with Billy and to be in some kind of project. But I don't think there is a better drummer for this band than Pat. I think the way that Pat forms parts in terms of suiting the song and in terms of like not necessarily being tasteful, because it is tasteful, but I think like the way that he thinks about this music is just, I've never played with another drummer like him. And I think that's really kind of tying the whole thing together in a way
Yeah.
that I think is underappreciated. But
Yeah, and
um
and also has some of the best time and feel of anybody in the
yeah,
scene,
that
which it would
that was the big thing. Like there's no other
just
drummer that
I'm
feels
just
that.
saying.
I can't keep denying the accusations.
Yes. Just take
I
the
have a good sense
compliment.
of time, and I have an interesting interpretation of ska music, probably because I went into the band without a background in ska music. So
Totally.
like I'm not writing ska parts. I mean, sometimes I am, but like that's not where I came from. So I think the stuff that I write is like maybe a little unconventional for ska music, and
Before
that happens to work for us.
before Ryan gets into your latest album, are any of you in any other bands?
No.
No? Okay.
Uh none that I will promote here because most of them would involve uh like I don't know, professional organizations and stuff.
Okay.
Legally speaking, no.
Yes, legally speaking, no. Though you absolutely will see me filling in with other ska bands. I've done it in the past and I will do it again.
Yeah, I think
So,
we've all filled in with our friends because that's just kind of
Right.
how ska is now. It's very community, just not even just the fans, the bands too. Like I filled in with Joystick at This Is Not Creating Fest. Pat is, I think we could say this, Pat's filling in with Mega Infinity on our
oh
upcoming
yeah, we
tour.
Hmm.
talked about this.
Yeah.
Billy's
And then
playing with
that is
Power
firmly
Up
going to
on the
happen.
same tour.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, no, there's some part of Joker's Republic in every band that is on that tour,
my
but
yeah,
The whole community is very modular.
yeah.
yes, and and it's very sweet because I've actually I just did an interview with a couple of guys from that tour. And Mike said, which was really, really, really sweet. He was like, well, just like we asked you because you're great, and I don't know why I wouldn't want to play with you, Pat. Like they were just like totally singing your praises. So like it was just you got that interview comes out in a couple of weeks, and you guys should listen to it because it's very sweet.
To answer the question more fully, we fill in with our friends, but this is our primary project. As
This is the band.
far, yeah, this is the band. This is the one that we all kind of sat down and went, we're going to take this as far as we can, and that doesn't work if we all have like side projects that are going to detract from the artistic side of the business. So
I also can't be doing that many bands that you know what I mean?
You don't got
I don't
the
know how many
time.
bands I'm supposed to be in
You don't got the
that
time.
that don't pay the bills, folks. People who are in more than 2 original bands, I think have a superpower because like I know how much work it is to be in one band. I couldn't imagine doing this amount of work for any other project and also not be making a living. Like this is basically a part-time to full-time job, depending on what time of year it is and how much work Austin has to do at any one
Right,
at
right.
any one point
right.
in
Easier
time.
parts.
Yeah, I
Right,
don't know.
easier
No, not
bass
even
parts.
that. It's not even. It's the.
no, it's the booking, it's the advertising.
No, I know.
It's the yeah,
and
it's
It's everything
all
except
the
the
other
music.
stuff. The music part is actually the fun and rewarding part, and everything else is the how do I get these people to hear my nice songs.
Do you think that that's true for ska bands too, though? Because I mean, if you've got say 10 people in the band, many hands make slight work, right?
That's fair.
no.
I mean, like if you play trumpet for all of them,
No, I can tell you from experience, for the most part, there's one or two band leaders, and then everyone else is just like trying to rattle people at a rodeo to get them all in
Yeah.
one spot.
That's the
Yep.
Like,
thing. If you're in a ska band with even a somewhat of a solid lineup, like you've got a guitar, a bass, a drummer, a couple horns, a keyboard, whatever, like 4 to 10 people, like somebody has to corral cats.
Yeah.
For practice, for shows, for tours,
God
like
help you.
the
yeah. And
logistics involved in that many people is mind numbing. And
do you know how
frankly,
hard it is to get 3 people in one spot?
yeah,
Now
I don't.
multiply that by 3.
Yeah, I don't envy them.
Yeah, and also I know I for to your question about or to your point about like hired guns, there are a ton of professionals who are in the scene. There's a lot of people who are professional musicians. Some of them they tour with other bands, some of them, live in their whatever their respective cities are and do tons of work. So like this is and I'm not calling out anybody in particular because we do this. It happens to bands all across the scene, but like you absolutely will see bands calling people to have players fill in and to
Oh,
pay
yeah.
people to
Yeah, it's not
fill in
a
for
it's
sets.
not a critique.
No, not at all. But like just that it is relatively common, and especially in the world of horn players, there is a finite amount of like
Oh, man.
excellent trombone players who
The horn
have
players,
passports and who are ready to go
in the
around the
ska
world
scene
and
get passed around like things that get passed around. We're on YouTube.
I was gonna-
My little
Chief
drummer is
singing
going to
that at a
start
house
playing the
party.
trombone this year.
Excellent.
Oh,
School
Yes.
multi
band.
instrumentalist.
School band is the gateway drug.
Smart.
I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, if I could go back, I took violin in school. If I could go back, I probably would have taken a horn.
The
Uh-huh.
bone. Play the
I started
bone.
on the saxophone in school band.
Nerd.
You play. You
I played
also play the
I played
saxophone.
timpani.
all right. Before we get too into the weeds, let's circle back to Necessary Evil. And you guys, you're saying like this is the first album that everybody contributed to collectively and instrumentally, correct? How does it feel being released on SPI and having people like Roger Lima and Eric Taft, putting it together for you?
Yeah, so starting from the top, I would say it was about 80% written
Yeah,
going in.
you still had
it still
a
was
lot.
like, because at the time, like we had just sat down and had the conversation of, okay, this is the band, this is the unit, let's make an agreement, put stuff on paper just in case, and like let's do this.
And
But
I think you already had a lot of it done, right? Like,
yeah, I would say like 7 complete songs, and then we worked on the last 3 or 4 together.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I wrote right after that conversation was "Politics Still Belong in Punk Rock,"
right.
but I think everything else was already kind of like done, and it was about the same as Falling Behind, but it was
I disagree.
definitely in the room. Well, from my perspective,
Sure.
it's like I came in with lyrics, melody, chord progression, but things changed a lot more in the room because
Yeah.
it definitely felt more like a band this time.
Yeah, that's my, because like, the dynamic changes a lot from when it's like something that you have a personal stake in versus something that you're like, and again, not that I ever didn't or that I was ever dismissive of it, but like, when somebody is paying you to play something, you're like, I will offer you my critique and criticism, but like ultimately I'll kind of do what you want. Versus if it's something that like, you know, I I have to stand behind creatively, and it's like you know you pay a lot more attention to the parts you write, to the lyrics, to the melodies, to the harmonies. Like that I think was the record um that I think really started to change the creative process for us. And also working with Roger was like so like just informative and educational in the way that we write and the way that he conceives music. Like we were all learning a ton of stuff in the studio, especially with all of the edits and suggestions that he had. And then it also taught us to sort of learn to take feedback from outside sources, and then also to know when to like stick to our guns and say like, no, 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 this is how we want this to be, you know. And so I think that was where the creative process really started to change, even if like the core of a lot of the songs was already written, and I think is mostly unchanged. Like there's some pre-choruses and some lyrics that are different from that record, but it's relative. I don't know, I feel like most of Necessary Evil sounds like most of those songs did originally.
The cores of the
Mostly.
songs are
Yeah,
intact.
I mean like the
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change a few elements to fit new arrangements. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So the way we got this, literally, we may have approached Roger about mastering Falling Behind. I don't remember.
yes, I remember you asked and he said he couldn't do it.
Yeah, so we wound up going with Dave Irish, who does all the Real Big Fish stuff for that one. So when it came time to do this record, we're like, all right, this is a serious unit now. It's time to level up. Hey, Roger has a studio. Why don't we try DMing him, see what's up? Because the most um comparison that I got as a writer, like people would be like, this sounds like Less Than Jake. This sounds like Less Than Jake. So I'm like, all right, let's just go straight to the source. Hey, Roger, we're looking for a studio, doing 10 songs. Here's our previous album. Would you be interested? And Roger goes, oh yeah, I know you guys. Let's do it. And I'm like, you remember us? What? Like, what are you talking about?
It also helped that it was late 2020 and Less Than Jake wasn't working a lot yet. I think not no shots to us,
Maybe.
but I think we got in there at the right time. It wasn't too deep into COVID. Like we were like, was it 2021?
2021.
Okay. No, okay. So
Yeah.
then never mind.
We
That's not a
we
good.
spent the rest
21,
of
it came out in
2020
22.
writing the record. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind. But
Yeah, no, and Roger's like, yeah, I know you guys, let's do it. And sat us down, I think day zero. It wasn't even the first day when
yeah,
it was
we
like
just went
recording
over
day.
to say
No,
hi.
it was the day we rolled into Gainesville
Yeah.
after a long drive.
And we went to Moat House and he sat us down. He's like, you guys are onto something here. If you want me to just sit behind the board and shut up, I'll do that. But like, you could listen to me and I'll have you on tour with the Suicide Machines in a year. And we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we want to do that. That's why we're here. Like, we wanted
Right,
your
yeah.
brain and your input. Like, this does come down from a songwriting thing. Like, we hear the comparison, so we figure this is the best move.
Yeah, we
And
tell everybody
then-
about that first day zero, like walking in just to like chit chat about like Necessary Evil recording, and he had a notebook.
Like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Book with
Scott puts on his glasses and he's like,
pages of edits he would make to our songs, and he said, "Yeah, you guys got a lot of stuff. It's really good material. Here's a book full of things that I think you need to change."
yeah, I think the phrase is the songs are too fucking long.
Yeah, he was like, it's great stuff, too fucking long. And then
Yeah.
And so it's interesting now because at this point, whenever we write something that like gets anywhere over 3.5 minutes, it's like, okay.
If it's even close to 4 minutes, we're like,
Does it have to be 4 minutes?
Does it
This is like a
really
prog
does it
song.
really have to be 4 minutes? Like,
No.
what is this fucking Rush? Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Well, no,
like,
it's like Gin and Tonic is a 4-minute song, and I think one or two of the ones on the new record are also 4 minutes. But the question is, does it feel like 4 minutes, or does
you're
it
not
feel?
supposed you're not supposed
Does
to
it-
notice.
yeah, does
Yeah.
it need to be?
That's the question. And I think the phrase we used internally while we were setting up for this and demoing was we pre-Rogered the new record.
Yes, this was all pre-Rogered.
Yeah, because we literally were like in the room with them listening to the demos, and he's just thinking about the drum parts. And I think at one point I went, "Do you think this part should be half as long? What do you think?" He's like, "Yeah, the drums sound great, dude."
And he's like, yeah.
That was so funny. He was just
Yeah.
like not listening.
Yeah, but
You
like
know, you
honestly,
know,
Like,
you know,
let's
there
just
should
focus
do.
on the drums right now.
honestly, like we didn't change that much on the new run versus
No.
Necessary Evil, where it was like a notebook. I think we came in there with a more fleshed out, and I think he even recognized that. He's like, "This is definitely a level up for you guys."
Yeah.
You just answered my next question, so I get to sit
Which
this
was-
one out.
Was it?
What-
Was it?
what-
How
wait,
is
what
this?
was the
How is
next-
this one?
What was the
next
question?
How you would compare the two albums? How are they
Ooh,
similar?
ooh,
How are they
ooh,
different?
ooh.
What did you learn
Um,
from working with
No,
Roger?
we can add to this.
You can
Yeah,
add to it.
okay,
Okay,
totally.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So this one, the real, I think the bigger difference is this will be the first time that there is anything that I have actually written most of on
Yes.
an album. So you have to be very nice and very gentle with me.
Yeah.
Noted.
There's a couple things. Billy being a primary songwriter on a couple of them is big, but also there are songs that I wrote that you wrote parts of.
Yes.
And there
And
are
that
songs
Pat wrote parts
Yeah,
of.
there are songs that came from absolutely nothing too. And
Yeah.
like that we just kind of worked out in the room. There's
Yeah.
a lot more of the personalities of the band, I would say. There's one song where all three of us trade lead vocals, where even though I'm the primary songwriter on it, like the flavor of each person's vocal is integral to that one song.
Yeah.
There's a couple gambles on it, including a full acoustic song with upright bass.
You'll hear.
It's a very different, cohesive piece.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff on it because there's a lot more people's input in what makes the album work, and I'm really happy with how cohesive it sounds considering the amount of people who all have ideas and opinions and thoughts on the process. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited for everybody to hear it in October.
October 10th, 1 month from tomorrow.
1 month from
1
tomorrow.
month from tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Are there any
Holy
guest spots
shit.
on this one?
Nope.
No, that's another thing. There is no guests whatsoever. We considered it for a couple songs, but we wound up just going for the three of us.
I almost felt like after the conversation we had at the beginning of this podcast that would be the answer, but
Yeah.
but I was
And
still
we're still not opposed to it. It just
Yeah.
like genuinely it's like I think it's a question of like, does the song need it? Is the person available? Who like what does this part need to be? Is there any reason it can't be the three of us? Like, because I think, at least for me, if I go listen to a band, I mostly want to hear that band.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's the big answer is, does it need to have a feature? Because like I definitely have gone on a little bit of a crusade of ska doesn't need horns, and you know this whole like anti-mozzarella core kind of thing. But like I love Real Big Fish and stuff like that. And if I had an opportunity to work with somebody like that and the song made sense for it, we would do it. Like it's really about, does the song need an extra part that we can't do ourselves?
Yes,
And
it's very, very song dependent.
We talked about it.
oftentimes, yeah, we talked about one of the songs having a horn feature and a couple names were thrown around, but we wound up just doing it as a vocal part and it worked out fine. Actually, it was very appropriate for what the song was. So like,
Yeah, I think there was actually I think there was a universe in which the intro guitar part to Panic was going to be a horn part.
yes, Panic. Mhm.
That was almost, we're like, Roger's like, oh, that could be a horn part. Like,
That was a big
could be
one,
a
yeah.
horn part.
No.
We were,
I said, do
You
you
said
think
it-
this should be a horn part? Because I always picture.
right.
I'm like, this sounds like if we were going to do horns, this would be the one. And Roger goes, no.
I'm like, okay, man, I was ready for it. You got Buddy on speed dial, like Jared
No,
lives
he's-
in town, like, like you know, we got people, like
The one
we thought
that
about
almost had
Features,
horns on it.
other features, vocal features, like nothing too specific, but like, you know, we almost like poured through the songs like, surely we could put a feature in something, just because it's a fun like community
yeah, it's great. It's
driven
nice.
idea.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, like we'd be like, I don't know if this is a pun, but like we would be shoehorning it at that point. Like
Hey.
there wasn't a clear, obvious spot of like, yes, put this here. It was just like, no, I think we can just do this ourselves.
Yeah, I think the one that would have had horns that we were talking about having Jer or Buddy and JR do was a woe part. It wound up being like a very
Yeah.
street lighty unison woe part, and we're like, yeah, this just makes more sense. Like, why are we trying to make this something that it's not?
Yeah. So there's your answer on features.
Well, speaking of some of the new songs, we do have a segment called Brain on Ska. We like to the lyrics. So we want to touch base on you guys' singles, about some new music, and we want to start off with Panic. Well,
Mhm.
Panic, I guess. It's technically the name of the song, right?
We call it panic internally, but yeah, panic cubed, panic, all acceptable.
Or PPPPP.
PPP, yeah,
The PP song
Too
is
many
also
PPs.
acceptable.
triple P,
Is that like pew pew pew?
Yeah.
pew pew
Also
pew,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. So you start off on not going to tell you there's no cause for alarm. Your gut feelings are not often wrong. I'm not saying maybe you should pump the brakes, maybe making choices out of haste. It sounds a lot like somebody, yeah, panicking. Is there what's the inspiration for that one? Is that a mental health type of situation or?
Yeah, so one of the things I try to do to make sure that every album feels cohesive with each other, because one of the things I hate is when the example I always think of is how there's different eras of Green Day, and like Father of All should not exist because it doesn't sound anything like the rest of the band's catalog. But a lot of bands tend to do this where they evolve their sound and alienate their core fans. So I try to be at least halfway through the next record by the time the current one comes out. Panic's chorus I've been holding on to since early 2020. And I was just waiting for the right time to write the rest of it. So it's very directly inspired by mental health, feelings of panic, by feeling trapped and feeling like you have to make a move very quickly when you feel like you're doing nothing, but you can't do anything because the rest of the world around you is also kind of at a standstill too. And I don't think I finished that one until 2023, 2024, when I actually started writing the verse. And I still even took a little bit longer after that to make sure it was right.
It sounds like something that was pretty near to your heart.
Yeah, I mean, I everything I've ever written has a kernel of truth or a true story behind it. I don't like telling fake stories, and I don't like telling um things that feel dishonest because then it doesn't connect. So every song that I've ever written definitely has some kind of truth behind it or some kind of inspiring event, even if I've taken artistic liberties with it. Um, for Panic, it was I'm at work right now. Speaking of ska bands not being able to do stuff, like I'm at work and I was on the front line for all of that COVID stuff. And I definitely felt it, not only just myself, but in everyone around me too. So it's a real feeling. And I think around the time I had written the verses, there was something else going on too that just recalled me right back to that moment.
So what part of the that course did you write first? Was there a specific moment that you felt the song like kind of coming to?
It was definitely the chorus first. I usually, when I write stuff, I start with the hook because if the hook's not good, the rest of the song isn't going to be worth it. Um, for me as a musician, or I guess artist, I don't think of myself as a musician. I think of myself as an artist using music as a medium. Where I get my rocks off, for lack of a better term, is hearing people sing back the lyrics that I wrote and dancing to the parts and stuff like that. The crowd reaction is really everything for me, and hearing how things have impacted other people. And for me, it's like if the hook doesn't work, then it's not worth it. So I started there, and the influence, unfortunately, is a band that is no longer cool, but at the time they were. Um, I think I had just seen them do a tour with Real Big Fish, Ballyhoo, and Direct Hit, and it was like my 10th or 11th time seeing them, and they were just fresh on my playlist at the time. And I remember feeling like, yeah, this sounds like something they would do. Let's roll with it. And Panic, Panic, Panic being repeated like that is a direct reference to Paramore's Crush, Crush, Crush. So it all just kind of came together very naturally in the realm of ska punk very quickly.
And I like that chorus. So no, it won't do much good. Running around and feeding into all the lies you tell yourself. When you panic, panic. It doesn't solve the problem. Put your energy somewhere else. Don't live in fear. Calm down. I've had a lot of self-destructive habits myself, trying to react to situations rather than respond. You feel like you got to fix something immediately. It's got to get done right now, and you
Mm-hmm.
end up setting everything on fire by accident. Well, at least I did it at least while I was drinking a lot. That's why I kind of had to give it up. But no, I appreciate that because it's one of those things that it helped deal with things that was causing the problem, and that was, I like the depth to the lyrics of the song. We want to talk about break the cycle as well. Was that something you were working on as long or no?
That's sort of
Not
like
as long.
the riff, right?
Sorry, I lost you guys for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, that started
the bass
with
riff.
what became the bass line, but it was originally a guitar riff. Um, I wanted one of the things because like we get punk ska or like reggae rock, we get anything but ska a lot. I wanted to write something that was so unquestionably ska that nobody could ever tell us we're not a ska band again. And that was a challenge with Gin and Tonic, but we wound up making the chorus punk. So I just wanted to take another stab at doing the least amount of dirty guitar possible in a song. And the best way to do that is to make it groove and dance. And so I started with that riff and turned it into, I say it's Catbite inspired, but it's a lot of the Toasters. It's a lot of that like two tony, early third wavy kind of sound in there.
What can you tell us about the lyrics of the song?
It's about getting stuck in a rut. It's about repeating the same thing over and over again. And you know that it's wrong. Like you just know that this is a problem and that you're not doing the things that you need to do to function and get it right and actually improve your situation. But because you're so deep into the bad habits and the structure of what you're doing, it's just impossible to get out.
And it goes on and on and on.
And on and on. Yeah.
And that was part of the inspiration for the music video was sort of to just like what is the physical representation of like being on the grind, and it was like, well, the answer is getting up, making breakfast, getting dressed, going to work, coming home, and doing it again and again and again and again. And like I think there's a lot of ways that you could interpret like what like the cycle is, but I think a pretty uh universal example is a job, or especially one that's like unfulfilling, but like there's that could go, I think, a lot of ways depending on how you interpret it.
Yeah. I mean, at face value, you can interpret it as a job or depression just
Yeah,
at face value, but there's
yeah,
relationship dynamics, there's
totally.
bad habits, there's plenty of things that you can add to that. It's the cycle is what you make of it. And ultimately, it's not necessarily the best thing to keep perpetuating it. But I mean, breaking bad habits is hard. Like it really is.
I feel like anything that you have lost the joy in doing can turn into a rut. I mean,
Totally.
it doesn't necessarily have to be work. I mean, you can get into a musical rut. I feel like if it feels more of a chore, you're not getting enjoyment out of it, then or I get myself involved in a lot of different things. If I'm not finding the fulfillment out of it, I'm not going to put the same amount of effort into it, and I'm not going to get the same type of results out of it. And I'm going to want to do it even less, and it's just going to be something I do begrudgingly anymore. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's work related.
Totally.
Yeah. And it goes on and on and on.
Right.
Was this the fourth Monday in a row? Oh my god.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you have another single that's been released here recently, Dead Inside.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell that I have mental health issues?
I've always said since I was in high school, we're all crazy for some more than others.
Sure.
Yeah, so Dead Inside is kind of the expansion on Panic, because those were definitely in the works around the same time. I think musically the influence is a lot heavier. I had just seen Memphis Mayfire for the first time, and I like metal. Like, I'm not a major metalhead. I like Death Clock quite a bit, so playing heavy music is not unheard of for me. And Billy and Pat had been asking about doing something in an odd time signature for a while, but I'm like, it's Ska's a dance music. How do you do a dance music in a weird time signature? The answer is Mission Impossible, and dance hall reggae. Um, and we just kind of took it and rolled with it. The influence there, primarily besides the heavier metal stuff I listened to, was Rise Against, I think, is the primary influence there.
Yeah.
Just trying to get
Totally.
that kind of post-hardcore kind of desperation about a song about feeling nothing, which I found
Yeah.
ironic when I was writing it. And then that death growl towards the middle during the breakdown is all Nathan Explosion Death Clock, like just trying to make it as heavy as I possibly could.
It's also, and this is interesting because you don't listen to this band a lot, but this is like very propaganda coded, which is not necessarily music a band you specifically listen to a lot. But like, oh, that's just what this is. That's what, this is what this band
Yeah, I
sounds
mean,
like.
I
But
like
it's all
propaganda.
sort of,
It's
yeah,
but it's not. Yeah,
yeah. It's like there's sort of any of that like sort of like heavy punk like borderlines on metal-y kind of bands. There's a lot of bands that sort of live in that world, and like we like to dip our toe into that place sometimes.
I feel like a lot of that comes out in that new album. You guys are saying there's a lot of different.
Yes.
some of it does. I would say that it's equal parts heavy that it is to pop punky.
Yeah. But
It's 'cause we get. Yeah, go ahead.
um yeah, yes, but like this is like it's not like it's not a metal record, but it is certainly the heaviest. It's the highest concentration of heavy music we have ever put on an album, is the way, if you wanted to get really scientific about it.
Yeah, because we get a lot of
The highest
comments.
concentration of non-ska.
Yeah, any chuggy bits. This
Yeah.
certainly more of it here than there has been in the past.
Because we get a lot of comments asking us to play heavier music, and it's like we like that stuff, but also as a writer, for me, that's not entirely honest. Like, we are all obviously decent musicians, but like I'd happily never play another guitar solo in my life just to slam power chords and sing songs that mean something. So while I like playing heavier music and it's definitely honest, it's also not honest for me to completely lean into the heavy stuff and neglect the catchy choruses. Like, and that's kind of what Dead Inside is. It's the happy medium. It's the catchy chorus, but it's also the heavy riffs. It's the chuggy guitars. It's all that stuff.
Yeah, how do you and so because like the answer is like we're just not a metal band, and so anytime we you know veer a song in that direction, it's like, well, let's make sure all of the other things that make this band what it is are still sort of inherent in the song.
It's my favorite of the three, I will say.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I love them all, but it's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is where so a little bit inside baseball here. This is what we thought was going to be the last single before the record comes out. we kind of glossed over it a little bit, but we are obviously no longer with Ska Punk International anymore. We are with Punkerton now, and we are very happy. Obviously, we're still friends with everybody on SPI. We've no beef with
Still
Chris or
love
anything
him.
like that.
Still
Still love them.
friends.
We played SPI Fest. We love all
Going
the
on
bands.
tour with them in it. Going on tour with them in a month.
Zero beef.
Just
Zero
so
problems.
everybody's
Zero
just
beef.
so everybody's clear.
Yeah. But we did wind up moving to Punkerton. And when we thought we were ahead of the game with 3 singles and video ideas, and it's like, okay, let's get this all done ahead of time so we can just push, push, push. Punkerton is much more involved, which is great.
Yeah.
We love that. But then we had to kind of prepare additional singles that we weren't ready for. So just as a little bit of inside baseball, we figured Break the Cycle would be the ska dancey one. Dead Inside would be the heavy one. Panic, 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 we think is the strongest song on the record. So we're like, we're leading off heavy. This is a good idea of what you're in for if you buy this record.
This is this is like, if you like this song, you will like this album.
Yeah,
song.
we picked Dead Inside specifically because it was the heaviest song on the record. So if heavy music isn't really your thing, but you like this one, you will like the rest of the record.
No, they're
That's
all
awesome.
great ones. Like,
Oh, thank you.
I love ska. I've always leaned towards more of a hardcore and mellow sound. When I was in high school, I listened to new metal back then too. I'll admit it.
Some of it's good.
Yeah, some of it is. But pop punk really, it's got a very niche sound. In order for me to really enjoy it, most pop punk doesn't really strike a chord for me, so to speak. But like Panic, Panic, Panic,
I agree with that.
Is more of the pop punk song of those 3, and I love it. Like, it's catchy, it's upbeat, like it's got great lyrics. All 3 of those songs are great.
This is a running joke within the band, but like I just recently came around to pop punk. Like I was not, despite the haircut, I was not an emo kid at any point. So like the most emo I ever willingly got was the All American Rejects. So it's just now that I'm starting to listen to pop punk and be like, oh, okay, some of this is all right. It's not all formulaic garbage. Like there are some real hits in there. Like I just came around to the Wonder Years and Mayday Parade, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I can definitely, but I hear you on that, because like this is definitely a thing we've had on some of the other songs on this record where I have to sit there and be like, is this too emo? Like, are we getting into Millington territory here?
It's like where Billy and
we love them, but
Billy and I get our dirty little fingers in there and start changing it.
yeah,
It's always
Are you
like,
sad? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sad.
it gets a little emo. We do like a weird little like halftime breakdown. Austin's like, this is kind of emo. And we're like, yeah, it is.
Sure is. Always. What's the meme? Always has been. Just like,
Yeah, exactly. Wait, it's all pop punk.
Always.
yeah. Just like I thought about it while we were in the room.
Billy and I have been. Oh, Billy and I have been drinking that Kool-Aid for years.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah, I thought about it when we were in the room with Roger. It's like, is pop punk necessarily a bad description of us? There's pop elements in punk music. I guess not. Like,
yeah.
That's really kind of what woke me up to the
sure.
idea that pop punk is not as evil as I thought it was.
Yeah, you just don't have to be a wiener about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just don't text minors.
oh God. Oh man, that we could have an entire entire podcast about just like the prevalence of like creepy adult men.
There is one out there. It's called
oh, Pat, you're frozen.
You're breaking up.
No, Pat, we lost you.
I want to hear this so badly.
I know. He's about to stand on business.
Oh, the podcast I'm talking about is called Enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
trying so hard.
He's so frozen. I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna be like, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes if people leave and come back, it fixes it.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
Patrick, leave us. We'll come back.
Once he finishes phasing into being.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He said the deepest comments that we've had this whole podcast.
Right?
Yeah. Everybody heard it. It was very profound. Sorry.
Oh, Gimp like says, Releases for Dead Inside is coming out tomorrow. His review for Dead Inside is coming out tomorrow.
Oh, sick.
Oh, sick.
Your check's in the mail for that 10 out of 10 review.
I did want to talk about Punkerton though.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned that you went over to Punkerton. How did that happen first off?
Punkerton was on my shop list when we first were shopping to other labels, which we were above board the whole time. We told Chris, hey, you're getting first look at this, but also like we're gonna shop around and do our jobs. And Chris was like, yeah, no, that's totally fine. Our initial wave, which included some names, either turned us down or did not respond. So I was going to shop the Punkerton, and then I saw them make an Instagram post that said, our 2025 looks amazing, and I can't wait to. I'm like, okay, they're full, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be the band that's going to try to bully my way onto this label. Like, I know Brandon, but I don't know Brandon. I'm not going to do that.
You don't want to be.
So we tried to go with a different direction, a familiar direction. Then things didn't work out.
Chris couldn't ship records. It's okay. It's okay. That's it. That's like, it's not. Listen. That's I'm not.
They did not say that.
I said it. I said we were worried Chris wasn't going to ship the fucking records. That's literally. That's literally it. That's not a dig. He's still my friend, and I still love him.
But that's
we were worried he wasn't going to ship.
It was a business decision. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not tiptoeing around it anymore.
Business. It was business, but we did tell Chris, hey, like, you know, we gotta be careful now because we're going to Fest. Like, we had Fest already locked in with the tour before we even talked about the record. So we knew we needed to have records on the table.
It was
like the record needs to be out by October. So when we hit the road in mid-October, going to some cities we've never been to and playing Fest, we need to have copies of the record.
Yeah, like this has to be in hand because the answer is I'm gonna be missing thousands and thousands of dollars in lost revenue and of people hearing my music if we don't have physical copies of this album. Like, that's actually the only thing you must be able to deliver on. You know. So
we had posted that the record was coming, and Brandon was in my comment section asking about the label. So I'm like, all right, this is, maybe a week or two late, but maybe Punkerton has a spot for us. So I reached out to Brandon, explained the situation, and he was like, I got you. Like, give me a week to listen to this and draft up a contract. We'll grab you. Boy Detective speaks very highly of you, who, again, we had met in Detroit years prior. Let's make this happen. And the rest is kind of history. Like, we, on our end, had to prepare a little bit more for I would say, upgrade in terms of like what we had to give them and totally. What we were expecting in return. But it was a lot more work, and we're still kind of feeling the ramifications of that. There's now a 4th single coming out soon that we'll start teasing. We've been playing it live, so I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit. But
no, I don't want to say anything about it until we get.
Yeah, there's now a 4th single coming before the record, and we had to pick a focus track, which we're talking about maybe doing a video for too, and we weren't expecting to do that. So now we're kind of scrambling on our end to make stuff happen. And Brandon has been very cool with like working with us, compromising on some stuff, but also like helping us make other stuff happen. And I mean, the results are clear. Like, we're doing great, and we're really stoked on what's happening.
And you finally get to play Supernova.
Yes. Yeah, no, for real.
That was
Punkerton.
100%.
That was Punkerton. Their PR.
They sent those. They sent that message saying, "Hey guys, we got a couple of bands just in case you got anybody. Just in case you got anybody who drops. These guys are great. They're ready to play." And like, there's something about having a label, and like, even if the label is 3 guys sending an email on your behalf, that like levels up your internet presence so much, in a way that I think is dramatically underrepresented. Like, anytime somebody's like, how do I get my band booked and anything like that, I'm like, start a label, get on a label, even if it's one dude, even if it's Joe Basement's records. Like, you know what I mean? If Joe Basement sends the email, you're gonna get a response more than you will from And also, not to discount the fact that like we've been doing this for a long time. Austin has been to Supernova multiple times, and you've been submitting for years and years and years. So I think it was
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
think it
don't
was
want
like a
to make it sound
confluence of
like, yeah, I don't want
I
to
think it
make
was
it
a
sound like it's like,
confluence of multiple
oh,
things.
we weren't relevant until Punkerton sent the email, but like
Yeah,
we did
yeah.
apply this year. We get a lot of people asking us every year, why aren't you playing Supernova? Why aren't you playing Supernova? I don't know. We apply every year, but Punkerton was in the right place at the right time. Their PR firm reached out on our behalf and got us in there.
You're
So
like,
like
okay.
we don't think that would have happened without Punkerton.
Yeah.
So and they're really trying to get into the ska game. I can't say much more than that right now, but I would say keep
I
an eye
saw
on
there's
them.
another Instagram that popped up.
Yeah, it's public, and that's kind of on them. But yeah,
Oh, is there? Oh shit.
Scott Punkerton is coming, and I would say definitely keep an eye on them because they're pretty serious about getting into the ska game. At least from the conversations that I've had with
Yeah,
Brandon
we'll
and
see. That's
Lee
that
and
is
Dane.
that is yeah, that is out. But that is currently above our pay grade
Yeah,
until further
all I
notice.
know is that there is a plan to get more involved in the ska scene, and you can expect something from Punkerton in the near future to try to push for more ska representation on the label.
Well, they've already got a handful of killer ska bands on the label. I mean, you guys are on there, the Boy Detective, Half Dizzy. Eric, help me out here. I know they've got one or two others.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a
three is
couple,
good.
but
No, but I'm trying to think of who else.
they're yeah, they're looking to do more. Like they're
Oh.
actively looking to get into the ska scene a lot more with some names you might recognize.
So,
And
ooh, you go first, Jess. You want
no,
to go?
you go. You go. You haven't
So-
talked all episode
So
on this. Go.
Ryan and I are from Michigan, so we know Dane and we love him. He's a personal friend, and we know the Boy Detective very well, and so does Jess. But I'm curious. So the connection you talk about the Boy Detective connection, and I wasn't there. You guys played Detroit a while back in a basement, correct?
It wasn't a
No.
basement. It was an abandoned
the basement.
hotel lobby
It
squat
was a
house.
community.
I
It
thought
was
you
an
played the basement.
It was an abandoned community building where people were doing drugs inside and the bathroom overflowed.
That's way
Yeah.
better.
It was also a community space.
Well, yes.
Like there was a kitchen.
Yeah.
There was a kitchen. Okay, that means
Yeah.
I don't know. They made food.
There was
I was gonna
bombed
make a
out,
joke,
and there was
but-
bombed out couches. There were people nodding off in the back room. Somebody got in a fight. It was a crazy day.
Jay Navarro showed up though, so there's that.
That was pretty.
Yeah, so
cool.
it was good.
It
Yeah.
was a good show.
No,
And that's
it was-
where,
it was
that's when we
awesome.
met.
Like,
That's
we
when we
had-
met the Boy Detective.
That was my question. Was
Yeah.
that the moment?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
amazing that they were like, yeah, these guys, we'll play with them again. Like after that experience, they were like, Joker's Public, they're great. And we're like, I'm sorry I made you stand in piss using a half broken PA system while
Yeah, Fisher
Well,
Price,
two
my
addicts
first
got in
PA.
while two addicts got in a fist fight outside.
Oh,
So
no,
that
we're
was-
sorry, Billy.
Does that mean you'll be back in Detroit sometime soon?
Certainly.
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, never say die. We are talking
Oh, we'll
to
go back
Boy
to
Detective
Detroit.
about some stuff, but
Fuck yeah. I'll go back to Detroit anytime you want. Maybe not there.
Hey,
Different
maybe I'll
business.
jump in your car and come with you. We're close
Well,
enough.
You better you not in the cars we tour in.
yeah.
right,
But,
What are you in my
I'll take my
Honda
own
Civic? That's
Yeah. How do
always
you feel about riding in the roof bag on a Kia Soul?
yeah, we can
Let's do
maybe
it.
if we can get Pat's mom's CRV, we can stuff you in the trunk. That at least has
There
a
you go.
pull back trunk. You can probably
How about that? That's where all the gear goes.
that's where all the gear. Let's listen. Who needs a guitar amp?
Me,
No.
me, motherfucker.
You'll figure it out.
No.
Are you eventually planning on coming back this way towards Detroit? I mean, with
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we're
I mean,
looking to tour
Punkerton is
very
out of
heavy.
Omaha. I overtalked you. What did you say?
We're looking to tour very heavily on the next record. I would say it's likely that we're going to come through Michigan again. I'm not going to say Detroit specifically, but we had a great time in Grand Rapids last time we came out. I wouldn't be surprised if we play Detroit. It's very early doors. We are planning in advance, but like we have to figure it all out. You know what I mean?
I'm going to get antsy here for so I am now located in Grand Rapids, and putting on shows. So
Okay.
if you don't want to make your way through
Well,
Grand Rapids,
then
please let me know.
Well, then we will be
Yeah.
in touch later is the
All
answer.
right.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
the way
we had such a great time last time with
Oh,
Dance
yeah.
Contraption.
Yeah.
We played with Boob Sweat. Like we love Grand Rapids.
Those are actually
No.
two of my favorite oops
Well,
what I
there you
love so much.
Well, there you go. No, we so because like we've been getting this question a lot, like, oh, are you planning to come to insert, excuse me,
Indianapolis.
insert town, insert city? The answer is absolutely here, but right, it's where are the tentpole dates that are going to get us out somewhere, e.g., festivals, or larger shows with larger bands, and or what dates can we build into a tour and what other bands want to go with us. So the answer is certainly the answer to everything is certainly yes. Like we're planning on touring. We're trying to hit as much of the country as we can in whatever timeline makes sense. But maybe we'll be there in July, maybe it'll be October, maybe it'll be March. I don't know yet. Like
It's
those
also
are
like I don't want to promise any because like
yeah,
I just
right,
got a DM
exactly.
to the I got a DM to the Joker's account today asking about South Florida and like we want to go to South Florida. It's been on our list for a number of years, but like to go to South Florida, we have to have something to do down there because that
Yeah.
whole region is like a week on its own.
Yeah.
And when you have X amount of weeks to do the entire country, Gainesville's close enough. You know what I mean? Like
Right. And so
it's hard sometimes, especially with a lot of people asking us to come back out to the West Coast, which we love. But realistically, Jared did a video about this recently. Like
yeah.
it's way more financially viable to do East Coast, Midwest than it
And
is to
even
come
like
out to the
south,
West Coast.
even as far west as like Texas, you can even, and like, if you can listen, if you can stomach that Texas to Florida drive, like across that a ways, but like even that is only about halfway through the country. So the when the last time we went out to the West Coast in 2022, we did 36 hours of driving to get out to Boise, Idaho. We did 3 straight days of driving just to get there. So like and I'm not saying this to be ungrateful. We're very glad we did it and we absolutely will do it again, but there's just logistical concerns that I think determine a little more of like the how and the when and the why. It's absolutely a yes, but it's more
Yeah.
like a matter of time
So
and
when
when that
you
happens.
decide to come up towards Michigan, we could probably get you at least a good run of 3 shows in the Michigan area, and then build off of whatever you build off of.
Okay. Well, we'll
Yeah, I mean
certainly be in touch about
Ryan,
that.
you help me on
that's
this?
definitely a start.
Yeah, our buddy Chris is setting up shows, Detroit area. Eric's covering the west side of the state, Grand Rapids, Kazoo, and I'm booking shows at the local theater in Central Michigan, which I think would actually be a really cool spot to shoot videos with the balcony and the stage lighting on the backdrop with the curtains.
Sounds awesome.
Totally.
We've digressed so much, and I apologize, but
Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Third, I have a listener question.
yeah,
What do you
where
got?
were we, Jess? Bring us back.
I'm gonna ask listener questions right now.
Hell yeah.
Gameplay surprise wants to know if anybody in Joker's Republic listens to Wicked Bears.
Oh, we
Billy.
fucking love Wicked Bears.
Are you kidding me?
Hey
The
Billy, do
20
you want to talk about the next single now?
Oh, no. I still
Oh.
don't.
But Underwater is
Good evening, Salt Lake City. All right, sorry.
A plus album.
That whole fucking record, because we saw them at SPI Fest 1 in 2023, and I was just unaware that you could make an album that was nonstop catchy and didn't repeat itself. The thing that entire album is basically a musical run-on sentence, and I say that in the best possible way. The song forms are non-standardized, right? Like, yes, there are verses, yes, there are choruses, but sometimes the song starts with a pre-chorus, goes into a chorus, does 2 verses, you don't get the chorus again until the end. It's this non-stop musical thought, and the whole thing is so catchy that you just kind of sing all your way through it. And that was the thing that inspired me to write the music that I wrote on this record, of which you will hear some of, but it is legally
Within a
distinct.
couple of weeks.
But it is legally distinct, and you will not and they are not entitled to any of the royalties.
I had not heard of them. I'm gonna have to check them
You
out.
should check them out. They're
Yeah,
a
they're great.
spectacular band. They have two great records that are worth a listen. There's no ska to speak of except for one time, but it's all great.
Yeah,
But it's
start
just
with Lucky.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's if you like the
It's a
ska
song.
ones.
Start
That's
with Lucky.
but the whole record. Patron Saints is great. 18-wheeler is great. Underwater is great. Just listen to the record. You're gonna love it.
Will too.
Yes, sir. You can answer Benny's question.
Yeah, I have a couple other listener questions. One was related to coming to the West Coast, though, so I don't know if you want to talk about that since you just kind of touched on that.
I
That
hope.
was
Yeah, I
the,
hope.
the Instagram one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the last time we played the Gilman. Which just for me, hold on a second. That's my favorite place I've ever played. Like that is, I was too young for CBGBs, so the fact that I was able to walk out of there with one of these means the absolute world to me.
Oh, cool.
It's a
God, he's
Gilman
got it ready.
Street membership card that they stopped doing. Yeah, I carry it with me everywhere I go because it's my good luck charm. They stopped doing these too. They went out of their way to make sure that I had one, which I felt very seen by that.
Very cool.
But yeah, that was the last time we played the Gilman. It was voluntary hazing and Monkey, and we loved the West Coast. The problem is getting there. Like, if there's no festivals and we're not on tour with another band and we have to jackass to Boise just to start the tour, it becomes an issue
Yeah.
getting down the rest of the way.
So
But it is on our radar for next
So
year.
the mission
Absolutely.
is to get voluntary hazing out here because I hear that may be happening next year.
Okay, well then
Oh,
they should.
They're gonna try.
Yeah, then they should hit us up is really the answer there. And we'll happily
Eric will
take them
have
on a
to
couple shows
follow
over here.
them. It'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
easier for
Yeah.
Eric to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My-
we want to come out there. That's the answer. It's just got to be the right time and the right reason.
Yeah. So anybody who's West Coast based, literally the best way you can help, talk to your friends at bands, see who's playing, see who's booking festivals, say, oh, I know so and so and blah blah blah. Let's connect them with us. Let them know that we have will tour, and we will come to your city or town and come play a show with you if we can make it work. Like that's what we do. That's
Yeah, I mean, there's a new record coming. There's no chance we're not going to come to the West Coast, but it's got to be the right reason in terms of how long we're out there and where we go.
Yeah. So to be determined, but yes.
Last question I have from people other than us is from Benny, of course.
Hi, Benny.
I was waiting for this one.
He would like to know, why aren't you as horny as the boy detectives? I'm sorry, as the detectives.
Oh, I can answer this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
The answer is SSRIs.
There you go, Benny.
Sorry, Benny.
No further comment. You're
I
on.
don't know what else to say.
All right, I think we can end this by talking about the shows that you do have coming up. Besides this weekend, you have a whole run in October going down towards Fest. Are you hitting
Yes.
any new cities that you haven't played yet?
Yes, Providence, Rhode Island is a new city that we haven't played yet. Charlotte, North Carolina is a new city that we haven't played yet. I think everything else we've been to at least the area once.
Yeah. The Virginia show, I think, is a new area, right?
There's no Virginia show.
There's no Virginia show? Am I full of shit?
There's no Virginia show. It's
I mean,
Baltimore.
Supernova's
Wow.
Virginia.
Supernova's in Virginia. That's
Supernova's
No,
Virginia.
No.
Which
I'm
played-
we've played Richmond before, but not
Yeah.
north of Hampton or anything like that.
Yeah, we've played
Christ, it's
we've played Boone, which is somewhat in Charlotte's area, but not Charlotte proper.
Oh, sorry, no, I was thinking of Catonsville, Maryland, where we have never played.
Yeah, it's basically Baltimore / DC.
Yeah,
it's
I
the
know where they
same
are.
DMV area.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ardmore. Like we've played Philly, so Ardmore is close enough.
Yes.
Speaking of Philly, you have a Philly-ish show coming up in December at Broken
Yes.
Goblet.
Yes.
Yes.
Planet Smashers, Mustard
With-
Plug, and Title Holder.
what
Yeah,
an
that's gonna be a
amazing-
fucking night. Can't
Mhm.
wait.
When-
Eric, you're breaking up.
Sorry, we lost you, Eric.
Well,
When
what's
is-
another one? That's December 9th.
6th,
I
December
want to say
6th.
December 6th.
Saturday, December 6th.
There you go.
That's
Friday?
it. Mhm.
Is it a Friday?
Thank
or
God somebody
Saturday? I
knows.
forget.
No, it's a Saturday. It's a
I believe
Saturday.
it's a
That might
Saturday.
have to be my Philly trip.
Eric's gonna have to come in for that. He's thinking.
Hell yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna. I might have to.
He
fly
came in for Muster Plug last year at Broken Goblet, and they played with Catch 22 and the Iron Roses
Nice.
and the Manipulators. That was a fun night too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we love the manipulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed them.
Me too. They've been hard to get. I've been trying to get them on like every show we do.
Yeah.
So hopefully soon. What else you got coming up besides that? Did I get them all?
Save Ferris. We talked about that.
We did.
Yeah. Fest. The run that we're doing is going to Fest in Gainesville. We'll be playing Sunday, Heartwood inside. I think we're playing around 7:30. So
yes.
we're like one of the last bands inside.
And
is this the ska night thing or ska
yes,
day?
yeah, it's the Sunday.
It's the big ska day. Yeah. We are right before Link 80 doing Omnigon.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we will have on that tour, so just incentive to anybody listening, we will have theoretically our special fest variant of our record, which will only be available from us or until they are sold out online. So that is, and they're really sick. That's the only one actually I want is of our album. So
the fest variant
is the fest variant. It's really
It looks
sick.
very cool.
It's really cool. So
we love a good splatter.
So if you're if you were saying, oh, maybe I'll catch Joker's Republic on the next time through on their tour, I would say this would be the one. We will have all of it. We will have the most cool shit we will have.
Yep.
In October.
If you can get to Gainesville, go to Gainesville.
Maximum cool crap.
I have never been to Fest.
It's super fun.
But I won't make it this year. Sorry.
Next year.
To me and you.
Next year. It's a fun time. It'll always be there.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
As of right now, nothing that we can talk about yet.
Yeah, hold on, let me check this contract in front of me of stuff I'm allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
As of right now, loud to us because we'd like
life-size plushies, no.
Life-size plushies.
No, we can't. We have body pillows. Of each of us coming out.
We have stuff on the horizon coming next year. You can expect us to hit the road a lot because we are promoting the new record. But other than the ones that we have announced right now, that's about all we can say.
Okay.
Jess,
do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Thank you. First of all, thank you guys for having us. And thank you to everybody listening who has streamed the new singles and pre-ordered the record or just like sent me a DM or just sort of engaged with the art in any way. Like watched the music videos on YouTube, like shared it, like anything.
Any engagement at all
is so like I sometimes it's very easy to get lost in the numbers, in the booking, in the doing the thing, and like I just want everybody who's watching, and also to you guys, and also to my band and my friends, like this is exceptionally like thrilling to be a part of and satisfying to do, and it is noticed the reception that we're receiving, and like I'm so honored to just sort of be in the conversation.
Duck popped in and said the album rules.
Oh, thanks, Duck.
Thank you.
Hey, Duck.
Quack, quack, motherfucker.
I love that man.
And apparently the boy detective already has body pillows out there, so
weird.
They have our body pillows ahead of time or their own body pillows?
Why do they have a Patrick body pillow?
Why is Benny always spoiling everything? That's the real question. Why is Benny always spoiling everything?
Oh my God. How did he get them ahead of time?
That's just his thing. Yeah.
I've heard that 80% of punk is crafts, so maybe it was a DIY version.
I mean, how did Gimlet get one?
Please do not. I need everybody to stop speaking about this because the more you talk about something, the closer to it being in existence it becomes.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
No, I think we've got a little bit about having a scene. Like, you gotta
Yeah, if you want to have a seat, if you want to, go ahead, Eric. This is your spiel.
Wait, before I do my spiel, can I say I'm very excited to see you guys this weekend? So we will be at I'll be at Supernova that day.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
See you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
And it's our friendly reminder that if you want to have a scene, you have to be part of that scene. So support your local scene and local bands and buy some t-shirts and show up at the shows.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having us.